Have you ever wondered how you can work 10, 12, even 14 hours a day and still feel broke? Millions of people hustle nonstop. They wake up before the sun, grind until exhaustion, skip meals, skip weekends, and yet, at the end of the month, they're staring at overdraft notices and maxed out credit cards. The honest truth, hard work might be the very thing keeping you poor. It sounds insane, right? But what if everything you've been taught about work, money, and success is backwards? By the end of this video, you'll understand why working more might be the trap, not the answer. If hard work doesn't lead to wealth, then what does? That question quietly lingers every time you see someone who works less than you, but somehow has more freedom, more money, more life. Your mind races. Am I doing something wrong? Have I been lied to? Why does it feel like no matter how hard I try, I'm always behind? And maybe, just maybe, you've started to believe the problem is you, that you're not trying hard enough, that you're lazy, undisciplined, not grinding like the others. But what if the problem isn't your effort? It's what you've been programmed to believe about effort itself? In this video, we're going to unravel that programming step by step. You'll discover how the system rewards obedience, not intelligence, and how working harder might actually be numbing you to the very truth that could set you free. But first, let me tell you a story. Her name was Lucy. For 28 years, she worked as a janitor at a public high school. She never missed a day, not one. She was the first to arrive, last to leave, quiet, humble, invisible. She took pride in her work because that's what she was taught. Work hard and life will reward you, her father used to say. So she did, every single day. 2 buses, 5 a.m., lunch from a plastic container. Back pain? She ignored it. Sick days? She didn't believe in them. And every night, as she changed clothes in the tiny staff restroom, she'd look into the mirror and whisper, "One day, all of this will be worth it." But one day never came. Near retirement, she had no savings, no property, no investments, just a worn-out body, a government pension barely enough to cover rent, and a lifetime of work behind her. No vacations, no financial cushion, just survival. Her biggest fear wasn't dying in poverty. It was realizing that her entire life had been a loop. Wake up, work, pay bills, repeat. Lucy wasn't poor because she didn't work hard. She was poor because she never had time to stop and think. She was so busy surviving, she forgot to build a way out. And maybe, just maybe, you're living a different version of the same story. Different clothes, different job, same trap. Lucy believed, like so many do, that effort equals progress, that staying busy meant building a better life. But here's the problem. Busy doesn't always mean better. Hard work is like a painkiller. It numbs the discomfort of not knowing what else to do. You're exhausted at the end of the day, so it must mean you're moving forward, right? Not always. The brain craves certainty and purpose. And sometimes, the easiest way to feel like you're doing the right thing is to just keep grinding, do more, sleep less, hustle harder. But what if that effort is on the wrong ladder? What if you're climbing full speed against a wall that leads nowhere? This is the hidden cost of hustle culture. You don't pause to ask deeper questions like, is this leading me to freedom or just keeping me afloat? Am I building wealth or just paying to survive another month? Hard work without strategy becomes a placebo. It tricks your brain into thinking you're healing, when in reality, you're just delaying the pain. And the longer you delay, the deeper you sink into the same loop Lucy never escaped. Most people aren't lazy, they're exhausted, and that exhaustion becomes a trap. Here's how the cycle works. You wake up already behind. You rush to work. You give your best hours to a job that barely pays the bills. You come home too tired to think, too stressed to plan, and too broke to stop. Then you tell yourself, if I just work harder, things will get better. So you do. You push through headaches, guilt, and burnout. You silence the little voice inside that says, this can't be it. And slowly, without even noticing, your entire life becomes reactive. You're constantly putting out fires, living paycheck to paycheck. Your effort becomes maintenance, not growth. And the scariest part? This cycle rewards you just enough to keep you loyal to it. A small raise, a pat on the back, a new title that doesn't change your bank account, but convinces you to stay one more year. You've been conditioned to survive, not to escape. No one taught you how money actually works, how emotions shape your financial choices, how distraction has become your daily drug, and working harder, your favorite form of sedation. This is the vicious cycle. And unless you break it, you'll keep mistaking movement for freedom. We grow up being told that struggle is noble, that pain builds character, that the more you suffer, the more you deserve success. But here's the truth. Suffering is not a strategy. Somewhere along the way, culture flipped the script. You weren't taught to build wealth. You were taught to earn your worth through pain, to accept burnout as a badge of honor, to wear exhaustion like a medal. And the system loves it, because when your value is measured by how tired you are, you never stop to ask if you're actually progressing. We're handed a blueprint: go to school, get a job, work hard, retire at 65. But no one tells you that success has changed, that this map was designed for the world that no longer exists. Today, the rules are different. Wealth is built through leverage, not labor, through ownership, not obedience. But if the system can convince you that your suffering equals success, you'll never think to ask for more, because you'll be too busy proving your worth through sacrifice. This is the lie, the one that keeps millions of people grinding for decades, only to retire with regrets instead of wealth, devotion instead of direction. It's not your fault, but if you don't unlearn it, it will become your legacy. If hard work alone isn't the answer, then what is? It starts with a shift. Not in effort, but in strategy. There's a moment in everyone's life when they realize, wait, I've been working hard, but I haven't been building. That moment, it changes everything. The difference between surviving and growing has nothing to do with how many hours you work, and everything to do with how you use those hours. Are you building something, or are you just repeating something? You can work 12 hours a day digging holes, or you can work 4 hours planting seeds. One keeps you busy. The other creates a harvest. Most people never break free because they never stop long enough to ask better questions. What am I actually working toward? Am I creating value, or just renting my time? Who benefits most from the way I spend my energy? Strategy means seeing beyond the next paycheck. It means learning how money grows, not just how it's earned. It means replacing busy work with intentional work. When you make that shift, you stop living in reaction. You start designing your escape, and that's the moment you move from being a worker to becoming a builder. The truth is, you don't need more effort, you need more clarity. So let's talk about the real exit, not quitting your job tomorrow, not chasing passive income overnight, but finally understanding how to shift from being a consumer of money to becoming an owner of time. There are 3 pillars to this shift, and they all start with one decision: to stop trading your life for the illusion of stability. Pillar 1, learn how money actually works. Not just how to earn, but how to multiply, protect, and detach it from your time. Invest in assets, not just stocks, but skills, systems, relationships that compound. Pillar 2, build leverage. Wealth is not just income, it's impact without exhaustion. Can your effort grow without you working more? If not, you're scaling fatigue, not freedom. Pillar 3, reclaim mental clarity. You can't build wealth from a burned-out nervous system. Slow down, reflect, think like a strategist, not a survivor. The people who escape this trap aren't the ones who hustle harder. They're the ones who rise above the noise, who ask better questions, who give themselves permission to build something different. You don't need to be rich to start thinking like an investor. You just need to be awake enough to see the game you've been playing, and courageous enough to change the rules for yourself before the system writes your story for you. Remember where we started? That uncomfortable question, is hard work keeping me poor? Now you know. Hard work isn't the enemy, but when it's disconnected from direction, it becomes a trap disguised as loyalty, a routine that robs you of what you thought you were earning: freedom, peace, enoughness. Today you saw what most people never question, and that alone puts you miles ahead. You're not behind. You're waking up. This isn't just about money. It's about the kind of life you want to live, a life where you work with purpose, build with intention, and rest without guilt. Because your value isn't found in how much you suffer. It's found in how clearly you choose. And now, you can choose to never go back to the loop that keeps you small. You made it here, and that already tells me something. You're not afraid to question. You're done surviving on autopilot. You're ready to build, not just work. So let me ask you again, is hard work really making you richer, or just more tired? If this video made you think differently, thank you for staying until the end. There's so much more waiting for you. Make sure to check out the next videos here at the Money Psychology Hub, where we dive deeper into breaking financial patterns, rewiring your mindset, and giving you the tools to finally take back control. We're just getting started.